Welcome to the second season of the PBA League. 8 star-studded teams owned by some of the biggest names in sports and entertainment. Today, Billie Jean King's defending Elias Cup champions, the New York City WTT Kingpins, and franchise player Pete Weber go up against Mike Fagan and the Motown Muscle owned by NFL great Jerome Bettis, in a format that features singles, doubles, trios, and 5-on-5 team play. It's an all-or-nothing battle on the road to the Elias Cup final. The winner advances, the loser goes home. And it starts right now on ESPN. Yeah! Welcome to Thunder Bowl Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan, the PBA League quarterfinals. New York City, WTT Kingpins versus the hometown Motown Muscle. This is an 8-team tournament-style competition. The winner of today's matchup will move on to the semifinals, where they will face Chris Paul's LAX, who knocked off the Brooklyn Styles here last week. Each team is made up of 5 PBA pros, featuring a franchise player. And for New York City, that player is PDW, Pete Weber, and he is standing by with Kimberly Kressler.
Pete, you and the Kingpins are defending champions. Talk to me about the pressure you feel coming into this to defend the title.
I think the only pressure that's on us is what we put on ourselves. And from what I've seen so far, all the guys look pretty loose. They're ready to go, and they're ready to defend. So look out.
Well, you have some new team members right now. How does that change up the chemistry, if at all?
I have Stuart Williams is new and Jake Peters is new, and me and Carolyn, John, and Scott have all the confidence in the world in them. They both are champions. They both know how to bowl on TV, and they both are team players, so we're still going to be tough to beat.
Good luck to you guys.
Thank you.
Mike Jakubowski and Randy Peterson with Kimberly on today's telecast. And Randy, tell us about the lane conditions.
42 feet in length, characteristics, multiple angles, yes and no. Look for the players to play deep. The high rev guys are going to be in. They're going to be swinging the ball out to about that 6, 7, 8 board. The straighter players are going to be going a little bit straighter towards second arrow.
4 games make up today's match: singles, doubles, and then trios, each worth a point. The final 5-on-5 team competition worth 3 points. We open up with singles. Franchise players Pete Weber and Mike Fagan facing off.
It's the Red Wings. Goal.
Detroit Red Wings goal. Sound effect for Fagan attending a Red Wings game the other night here, and Pete Weber for the defending Elias Cup champions.
Do you see that stat? It's 51 years of age, 34 years on tour, 37 titles. My.
Fort pin on the opening shot for Weber.
Pete goes just a little bit high with his opening shot, leaving just the 4-pin. Remember, that right lane played tighter, or excuse me, that right lane hooked more than the left lane did last week. Let's see if the same holds true. I don't see any reason why it shouldn't.
The New York City WTT Kingpins, owned by Billie Jean King and managed by Carolyn Doran Ballard, Pete Weber, Scott Norton, John Zerbinski, new players. Stuart Williams and Jake Peters added to the roster.
They lost Tommy Jones to free agency, but picked up 2 PBA champions in Stu Williams and Jake Peters. Remember, Jake won last year, 2013, in the Summer Series.
Pete got the landing down, gets the good result for a strike.
Well, Mike J, it's all about good mojo, good footing, and good footwork, and I think Pete's got some pretty good mojo going on those shoes. We'll show you here in a minute. You see him slipping there, but when you have great timing, great arm swing, and a great release, and your name is Pete Weber, you get away with that. And speaking of good mojo on the footwork, on the shoes, the signatures of Terrell Owens and Billie Jean King.
Even heroes have heroes. Now Fagan for Motown, oh boy, and he also gets a good result.
All right, fellas, come on. All right, kid.
The Motown Muscle, owned by Jerome Bettis, managed by Del Ballard Jr., features Fagan as a franchise player. Lefty Mike Scroggins with Chris Loschetter, Tom Doherty, and Brian Kretzer.
Lost Tom Smallwood and Ronnie Russell to free agency, and Jesse Buss no longer in the league competition. Also, the manager is a great story there. We'll tell you here in a minute.
Fagan, 10-pin.
Team manager for Mike Fagan's Motown Muscle is Del Ballard Jr., Hall of Famer Del Ballard Jr. As you see Mike Fagan here working on a double, even a flat 10. The manager for Pete Weber's New York City WTT Kingpins, Del Ballard's wife, Hall of Famer Carolyn Dorn Ballard. I'm not sure I want to get between those two. I can promise you which one will be the more vocal of the two, though.
Come on, carry.
Fagan on the spare as the husband and wife managers look on. 1 point on the line in our singles competition between our franchise players, the same for doubles and trios, but 3 points at stake in the final event of the day, the 5-on-5 Baker team competition. A total of 4 points wins today's match. Weber looking to double here, third frame. And the Hall of Famer drops 10 back. Who can forget one of the purest shots ever with everything on the line?
Well, I mean, this was vintage PDW. He needed all 3 in the 10th to win by a pin.
And the man who lost to Weber by that single pin, none other than Mike Fagan.
Who do you think you are? I am.
5th U.S. Open title, an all-time record. As Tracy looks on, sharing in that moment at the U.S. Open. Now Weber and a turkey.
I just think it's truly amazing at age 51 what Weber's doing out here. Now he's staring down the other team. Again, just more PDW. Take a look at one of the most efficient swings I've ever seen in my 33 plus years out here. Pete Weber's just got that incredible swing, incredible timing, and that incredible touch at the bottom of the swing.
Strike for Fagan in the 4th for the Motown Muscle.
Really nice shot by Mike Fagan as he takes a re-rack on the left lane. This kid has learned how to bowl out here, working on being versatile. Mike Fagan won his first major just a couple of years ago, winning the USBC Masters, beating Chris Barnes. Once he got confident in what he was doing, he started winning out here. And again, this is one of the top players on the tour today.
Fagan rings a 10-pin.
Sorry, guys.
You know, and that's the lane you expect it on, because the left lane has been tighter than the right lane, meaning that the ball's going to push a little bit longer down the lane before it starts to make its move into the pocket. And anytime that happens, the ball gets behind the head pin just a little, and you're going to leave a ringing 10-pin for a right-hander.
Fagan familiar with team competition, a 4-time member of Team USA and a 3-time All-American at St. John's earlier this century. Picks up the spare.
All right, guys, come on. Nice shot. Slide down a bit. Thanks.
Now Pete Weber owns an 11-pin lead and a couple of strikes here. 5th frame. 1 point to the team. Team with the most points following doubles, trios, and Baker team competition will advance to the semifinals. Beautiful open hand release, and Pete increases the lead to 21.
Yeah, there's no grab in that release. You know, when you see that hand of Weber's and those fingers pointing straight to the ceiling, that's when he's at his best. That's when there's no grab at the bottom, and that soft hand and release come into play. Watch this. Open hand, elbow cups, hand to the inside part of the ball, then the fingers get underneath and rotate around the ball, kind of like throwing an underhand spiral with a football.
Weber spare and four-bagger now working sixth frame with the advantage for New York City.
Look out.
Oh, 7-10 split.
Well, he didn't deserve that. He got it right of target. The ball hooked back enough to get to the pocket, and he leaves the pocket 7-10 split. Guy sitting right behind Pete, right there. Mark Roth made it once. Only one of 3 players to make it on TV.
And Mark Roth, his name is on the MVP trophy for this PBA league, will be awarded following our competition. And once our Elias Cup champion is crowned. Opening match, franchise players. Pete Weber still has the advantage. We'll see if Fagan can climb back in when we return to Thunderbolt Lanes. PBA League action continues at Thunderbolt Lanes in Ellen Park, Michigan. The defending Elias Cup champions. Time for an Ebonite flashback.
Well, last year's Elias Cup Finals was all about NYC Kingpins, and it was led by that man right there. Pete Weber just dominated this team competition. John Zerbinski was solid, but it was Pete Weber time after time again. Tommy Jones throwing strikes in the mix. This team threw the last 7 strikes in a row to win. Another strike by Zerbinski. Scott Norton striking from the left side. But it was Pete Weber. Took his team to victory.
With team owner Billie Jean King in attendance. Action now continues in this quarterfinal between Motown and New York City. Fagan trails by 7 pins, looking to capitalize on the Weber open frame, 6th frame.
I think I just ruptured an eardrum.
PBA League format features singles, alternate shot doubles, and trios with 1 point apiece. Team competition, 5-player Baker, good for 3 points. In the event of a tie, there will be a 1-ball roll-off to determine the champion. Fagan trying to double.
And with that strike right there and the open frame by Weber in the 6th, Mike Fagan takes the 3-pin lead. Another beautiful shot by Fagan. The only thing he's left standing is a couple of 10 pins. Everything else is strikes.
Back over to Pete Weber. Team mantra, if one guy struggles, the other 4 keep him pumped. And that ball overhooks. 2-4, 7-10.
And there's the friction that we've been talking about on the right lane, and it just reared its ugly head and bit Pete Weber. Watch this. That slow ball speed and that axis rotation, that ball spinning sideways, ball cuts right through the nose, leaving the 3-4, 7-10. I don't think there's a better player that I've ever seen in my 30-plus years on tour that's better at shooting this split conversion. Whether it's that or a 3-6, 7-10 combination, There's none any better than Weber at shooting that, even though he was unable to convert that split.
So back-to-back opens for Weber, and the New York City WTT Kingpins has now opened the door wide for Motown and Fagan. Best Weber can do now is 233. Third arrow, mixing strike.
I mean, even in that shot, you can see the lack of down lane ball reaction, that left lane being a little bit slicker than the right lane. And now Pete's got to make an adjustment on that right lane. Take another look from profile Weber's style. That open hand again going pretty straight for him on that left lane because of the amount of oil in the middle part of the lane.
Oh, man.
Well, there's the exact same split that Weber left, with the exception of the 10-pin not being there. Same kind of hit. Ball cuts right through the heart. Watch the down lane reaction right there. 10-pin falls late. 3, 4, 7.
I think I can make it.
He's going to try to slide it over. A lot of folks, depending on whether or not they would want to not lose the count, would just try to shoot and convert the 4-7. The problem is if you try to go for this and you try to slide the 3 over into the 4 and the 7 and you miss the 3-pin, you're going to lose a lot of count.
Seemed to me Mike was doing some math there, adding that up.
Doing the math, looking at the scoreboard, trying to figure out how he wants to attempt this. He's going for it.
And a great conversion. Down go the 3, the 4, and the 7. Let's take another look at the hammer tough spare replay.
Well, this is just perfect. This is what Weber tried to do, but Weber missed the 3-pin. Fagan slides the 3 into the 4 and 7. Magical.
So Fagan blowing into his thumb hole, a little moisture. Habit of many players, and flat 10-pin.
Sorry, guys. Okay.
And the flat 10 created by a lack of power. The bowling ball not driving through the pins hard enough to get the 6 to go to the sidewall and kick the 10 out. With a spare here, Fagan can max out at 225. Weber now in the driver's seat. He can strike out for 233.
Spare conversion for Mike Fagan.
Pick me up. Oh. Damn it.
So Weber, after the back-to-back opens, fills the box with a strike in the 8th, and now chance to double and cut into the lead. Weber tied for 3rd all-time in PBA Tour titles with 37 and member of the defending Elias Cup champions. Team competition, though. You got a manager and 4 other players on the bench riding along with you. 9th frame. Weber delivers. Cuts the lead to 2.
Yeah, it's just a great shot by one of the most prolific players in the history of professional bowling as he takes a re-rack on the left lane, made the right adjustment, executed perfectly, and that ball was perfect in the 1-3 pocket. Now Pete Weber can step up here in the 10th frame, throw 2 more strikes and get good count. The match is over. Well, Tracy likes it. Carolyn Doran Ballard, the team manager, liked it. I guarantee you this man liked it. On this left lane, Pete Weber can try to roll it a little bit more to get that ball to pick up a little sooner. One more strike, 3 pins. And the first point will go to the New York City WTT Kingpins.
That's a little high, and he gets the 4-9 to fall.
Was there any doubt? I mean, just Pete Weber carry. I mean, that's just that's what he does, and it's what he's been doing for a long time.
And secures the victory, does Weber.
It's almost poetic justice, though. He left the pocket 7-10. He comes back, trips the 4-9 for the win. And when you're the Motown Muscle, you're sick to your stomach watching that. But hey, it's Pete Weber.
Senior carry.
Getting the best of Mike Fagan once again in the singles match. 1 point to New York City. Looking ahead to our doubles matchup. Weber will continue and team up with John Zerbinski. For the Motown Muscle, Fagan will remain.
You can put in a sub, right?
And team in with Chris Loschetter coming up in doubles.
You can put in a sub, right? You can put in a sub, no?
Fagan may be better served throwing this one himself since he's in doubles.
Okay.
I think he's better served letting Loschetter throw a couple of shots here. If Loesch can strike on this ball, he gets to throw another ball for another strike. Even if he doesn't strike, throw another strike ball, get warmed up for the match that's going to take place after this. Loesch is in the doubles with Fagan, as you mentioned, so why not? Put him in.
Nice opening shot for Chris Loschetter in a losing effort here in this singles game. The point has already gone to New York City, but Fagan thinking and going with putting Loschetter in for a shot or two. Interesting strategy here. Open substitutions in all of our competitions, singles, doubles, and trios. Once the player is entered, they must stay in for the remainder of the game. So Lochetter's got a couple of pitches in, and New York City takes a 1-0 lead in this PBA League quarterfinal. 1-0 to our defending champions. When we return, competition for a point. Chris Loschetter and Mike Fagan team up for Motown. Fagan with the big spare conversion, and Weber gets the roll on the 4-9 and takes the point. He'll team up with John Zerbinski when we return to the PBA League. Welcome back to Thunder Bowl Lanes in Allen Park, Michigan, quarterfinal between New York City and Motown. Final score in singles for 1 point. 232-225. New York City now leads 1-0. Greetings from the Motor City. Mike Jakubowski with PBA Hall of Famer Randy Peterson. And sometimes you just get the number. We saw the highlight. Mike Fagan defeated at the U.S. Open in that famous 5th Open by Pete Weber, and Weber gets the best of him again here in singles in team competition.
Yeah, a lot more Weber magic in that singles match against Fagan, and it was so atypical Pete Weber. You know, he got off to the really good start, and then he went back-to-back splits, and then somehow was able to just pick himself up, dust himself off, and gets up in the 10th frame, needing a double. He throws the first one perfect, and then just some more PDW magic. Watch this. Trips the 4-9 late for the victory. Vintage PDW.
And we're bowling on the 42-foot oil pattern, which has been dyed blue, and it really gives us an interesting look from a couple of different vantage points of what the players face, both in the laydown area and then what happens when the ball reacts down lane.
Well, yeah, it also shows you what transition looks like. So take a look at the lane on the left. That's before practice, so the oil is fresh on the lane. And then after the singles event that you just watched, look at the ball marks, the laydown area right here in the first, say, 4 or 5 feet of the lane. Go ahead and run it. and you could see the ball tracks on the right side. You could see the blue starting to lighten up right there at the third arrow. You can see the ball track. And this is just after the singles competition. So this whole pattern breaks down really, really quickly. And I think the blue die is awesome because the viewers at home get a chance to see just how quickly the lanes transition.
And now Kimberly Pressler is laneside with both of our managers, Carolyn Doran Ballard and Del Ballard Jr. for Motown.
Thanks, Mike. Carolyn, you bring a lot of team bowling experience to the Kingpins, but how do you translate that into managing a team?
Well, it's funny, I know all the guys on the team, and I was very honored when I was asked to be one of the managers. And it's more about team chemistry. I mean, you can put the 5 greatest bowlers in the world together, and it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to win. So it's more about team chemistry. That's how we picked our team, and we're having a great time. We kept in touch the whole time before this event took place, so we feel pretty good together.
Talking about chemistry, there's a little personal competition going on here. Carolyn and Del, you guys are married. You guys are on opposing teams, managers for each of the teams. But Del, Carolyn told me she is the better bowler. So how much do you want to beat her here today?
Let's just say when she got off the airplane, she was called the enemy. I hate to lose at everything, and I think everybody at home knows that. So she gets it too.
All right, well, good luck to both of your teams.
Del Ballard being more than a little modest in that interview. Let's take a look back now at a historic matchup between Del and New York City franchise player Pete Weber. The year 1987, where Del took home his first career PBA title and doing it in a major no less. At the United States Open, Ballard easily defeated Weber 247 to 209 for the $100,000 prize, the first 6-figure payday ever in the history of professional bowling. The future Hall of Famer would go on to win a total of 13 PBA titles, including another U.S. Open in 1993, as well as the 1988 USBC Masters and the 1989 Tournament of Champions. Coming up, Del Ballard sends out Chris Lowshatter and Mike Fagan to go up against his 87 U.S. Open rival Pete Weber and John Zerbinski in alternate shot doubles. Next.